Hello and welcome to the fifth in a series of online Scottish music workshops to mark the 125th anniversary of the Glen Collection. I'm Ronnie Gibson, a scholar performer of Scots fiddle music based in Aberdeen, Scotland. We'll be live on YouTube at this time every Monday and Thursday throughout July and August, exploring some of the finest Scottish dance music as chosen by John Glen in his two books published in 1891 and 1895. You'll find more information and links to free sheet music downloads at glencollection125.wordpress.com, where, if wished, you can also make a contribution to my virtual tips jar via PayPal. And again, a big thank you to everyone who's contributed. In this video, we'll workshop two sets, the 33rd and 38th pairs of tunes as found in Glen's first book. You can use the chat bar during the live broadcast to make comments or ask questions, so do let us know you're there. And I see already we have Jane, Anne, Leslie, Donald, Francois, Iona. Good, it's great to have you. Thanks for taking part. All friends of the series. That's splendid. Right, let's start off then with set 33. Two tunes from Bremner's collection, which is among the earliest that Glen consulted. I think the date's about 1757, and in contrast to most of the collections, Bremner's was published in London, but Bremner, of course, the surname gives it away. He was a Scot, but also a London-based music publisher. Anyway. Lecture over. Let's start with some playing. Coming through the Broom, my Joe. Let's just give it a read. Nice and steady. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again. We're back in a sensible key of A minor. No flats in sight. Although we're not quite at A major. Don't worry, we're going to get there soon. And perhaps unusually for a Strathspey, mostly equal films. Nonetheless, the tempo defines it as a Strathspey. If we were to try and play it at real tempo, it just wouldn't fit. And we've got the chance to do a few ornaments. So let's take a look at the bars each in turn. So from the start, we've got the birrel on the downbeat, and then this B, C, B ornament on the fiddle. It's a second finger ornament. And the 1 and the 2 are close together fiddles. Let's just try the first bar with the upbeat. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's try it slightly slower. And if you like, you can stick in a G sharp before the upbeat as well. So if we slow it down, it'll sound something like this. Ready, 2, 3, and 4. And again. Once more. Now we're on the fourth note in the first bar, the ornamented note, on the up fiddles. Let's just try that. 2 and 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. We make the progression from a distinctly stopped second finger, or that's the note C, distinctly stopped note to just a textural gliding over the string to create a sort of aberration in the sound, but rather than a defined pitch. Okay, just from the top again, 2, 3, and 4. And it's worth pointing out the octave between the upbeat and the downbeat, from the high A to the low A, because it's something you can delight in. It's just such a fantastic interval. Once more, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. That's the idea. It's a nice friendly one, this one. Now, we're starting the second bar on an up bow. Let's just try that. The second bar, 2, 3, 4. Ya-da-dum. And we've got this high G. Again, you can just enjoy the contrasting register. So we're sort of middle register most of the way through, but we've got these occasional high notes. Second bar on the up, 3, 4. And we're going very quickly from a high note to then a very low note. Once more. On the up to second bar, 3, 4. There we go. Now if we look at the third bar with the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So again, another burl. It's very similar. It's the same rhythm as the first bar, but over a chord of G rather than A minor. Upbeat to bar 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, on the fourth note of the third bar, we've got this ornament. This time on the fiddle, it's a third finger ornament. B, D, B. It's on the up again. Let's just try it. Ya-da-dum. And. There we go. That's how that one goes. Let's just try again. The upbeat to bar 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. Relish the ornament. Here we go again. 2, 3, and 4. That's the idea. And again, we're moving on to the fourth bar now. And like the second, it starts on the up bow fiddles. Ready? The fourth bar. 2, 3, 4. And again. Once more. And. Another third finger ornament on the fourth note of the fourth bar, the dotted quaver B. And it's exactly the same as in the preceding bar. So let's just try that again. The fourth bar on the up bow, 3, 4. Follow the first measure from the start to coming through the broom, my Joe. First line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you get to double a delight in that high octave A on the repeat, because you're not just going from high to low, you're going from low at the end of the line to high on the upbeat and then low again. And it's really the most energetic of intervals. So it really adds some drive to the tune. It's not insignificant. As we're adding some tempo, some speed, we're also getting the dance feel, a bit of the lilt. So let's just try it again. Ready from the top. 3 and 4. So part of the lift, the dance feel, is in the flow. And in order to achieve the flow, you can't really observe the bar lines too much. That's fine going from bar 2 to 3, where you've got that upbeat. But the crotchets at the end of bars 1 and 3 require you to sustain and play right to the bar line. Yaram dee ya da da dee yam ba da. It's like a big broad upbeat, as well as being the sort of end of this sort of 1 bar phrase in the bar itself. Yara dee da dum ba da dum bum ba da dum bum ba dum bum bum ba da dee yam dee dee dum da dee. Something like that. Anyway, let's just try it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. That's the idea. Very good. Now we'll try line 2. Fiddles, it starts on the up bow. Nice and slow. We've built up some speed. Let's slow it down again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. It's quite plaintive at this speed. The first couple of bars are all up on the E, and fiddles, you've got your 4th finger coming into play quite a lot. So it can help just to have your left hand in a useful position. If your wrist is back, your thumb is down, your elbow more in front of your stomach than your hip, and the fingers nice and poised. It can help just to get that stretch. So if you look at my thumb, try and get it out of the sunlight, there we go. It can come up the neck a little. Let's just try the first bar of line 2 with the upbeat. Ready, 2, 3, and 4. Fiddles, did you remember to start on the up bow? Here we go. 3 and 4. Good. Just get that nice hand position so you can get the stretch up the neck, and the 4th finger doesn't sound too sour, or the other fingers don't get distorted with the stretch for the 4. Oftentimes you stretch for the 4 and then the 3 becomes too high and the 2 loses its identity. So all these little tips, the thumb, the wrist, the elbow, those are the 3 sort of main parts, and get the fingers nice and poised, and all will be well. Once more, line 2, first bar with the upbeat. 2, 3, and 4. Now the dotted rhythms just need a bit of, even at this slow tempo, a bit of groove. Yum ba dee 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 dee. Yum ba dee 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 dee. Once more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The trick is to overemphasize the semiquavers. Yum ta dee 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 dee. The tendency might be, because it's in a very weak part of the bar, just to create lip service. Yum ba dee 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 dee, and de-emphasize it. But if you do the opposite, you get a nice effect. Yum ta dee dee da da da. The opposite. Yum ba dee dee da da da. It's just a bit, Right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can bring it out a bit more than that. The second note of the bar, second line. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the idea. Let's look at the second bar. Same rules apply to get this fourth finger nice and in tune. And we're starting on the up again. 1, second bar, second line, second bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ya da dee da dum dum dum. There's not much to this at all. Once more, and. There we go. And then if we have the third bar with the upbeat, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, we've got that semiquaver, the second note of bar 3, and it needs to be pointed. Yum ta dum tum ta da dum, dee ta dum tum ta dum tum. Line 2, bar 3 with the upbeat on the F sharp. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This time, if my bow can reach the fiddle, if it's not too much to ask. 3 and 4. Yum ba dee da da da. Nice and lively. And the fourth bar, some semiquavers. It's going to be good. Upbeat to bar 4, line 2, bar 4 with the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, and. Once more. These semiquavers remind me a bit of stepping in used chewing gum in the street, and you don't notice until you're having to use much more energy to lift your shoe up. And then once it starts to go, you know, you've built that much energy that you lose control of your foot. It's not the best metaphor, but it'll hopefully impart something. Just hold on to the first of the 4 semiquavers in bar 4 with the upbeat. Line 2, bar 4 with the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's really exaggerate it this time. Yum be da da dum. 3 and 4. Again, 3, 4. Once more, and. That's the idea. And it's related to the bowing. You get this lovely into the string on the first note when you're at the heavier part of the bow, and then the other notes just occur. The bow is going like that in a sort of once more, upbeat to bar 4, 3 and 4. Okay, second line. That's the second measure of Coming Through the Broom, My Joe, from Bremner's 1757 collection. Yes. Line 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there you have it. Good. As ever, any thoughts or queries or questions, just fire them into the chat bar. It's always good to be reminded that there are people out there. Knock, knock. That's Coming Through the Broom, my Joe. Right. I Wish You Would Marry Me Now is the real. And you can tell that these are early tunes because after about 1780, well, after about 1763 or 4, composers realized that they could dedicate tunes to their patrons and then sell them copies of their books. It was a sideline to being, you know, they're primarily hired to play at dances, really. but they could also have this publishing side of things. So we get these pre-patronage tunes from Broom. It was just slightly before all that. Okay, let's give it a read. I wish you would marry me now. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's quite a bit in this. If we just start at the beginning, bar 1, straight away we've got this syncopated rhythm that's becoming quite familiar. Those of you that tuned in on Monday would have Mrs. Crawford of Donside still in recollection, perhaps. What you have to do here is de-emphasize the first note, the downbeat, and try and emphasize the second note, the sort of second quaver of the bar. Fiddles, if you do a sort of short down bow at the tip. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And. Let's see how exaggerated we can make it. Da da dum. Let's try this. Let's try coming in on the A. So we're in after 1. I'll just demonstrate. 3, 4, 1. Got it? On the up bow fiddles. So the second quaver of the bar. We're going to omit the first note just now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Once more. 3, 4, 1. And it's like a rocket. Tum pa dum. Lots of bite in the bow. Got it? Let's just try it once more. No downbeat. Only from the second note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now same force, but with the downbeat. The downbeat, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen, did you hear that? It was just a creak. Maybe it needs to be just a bit fuller than that to do it some justice. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you like, you can add the little ornament before note 5, the crotchet C. Yum ba da da dum. It's just a repeat of the previous note. Ready? Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 2, 3, 4. Ya da dum. Now, just once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we move on to the second bar, so it's fairly straightforward, but with the upbeat, 2 quavers at the end of bar 1. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, on the upbeat, we have that note E. Fiddles, try and stick a 4th finger on it, just to avoid the string crossing. We've already done 4th finger work in the Strathspey, so same principles apply. The thumb can come up the neck a little, the wrist can be back, the elbow just comes to the right, so you can get a nice high hand position, fingers poised. Same thing, upbeat to bar 2. 1, 2, 3. That's the idea. Bar 3. Yum pum bum bum bum. Let's just give that a play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yum pum bum. Ready, and again. And you hear this last note that we're playing. We're not playing the last note of the bar yet. The second C at the end of the bar needs to just be a bit weaker. Strong. Once more. 1, 2, 4. Let's just try those two notes. So we're going from I Wish You Could Marry Me Now, bar 3, halfway through the bar, the crotchets. Just those two notes. Down. After 2, 1, 2. And again. And again. That's the idea. From the start of the bar, bar 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the last bar with the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the trick about this one is you want to really kick. There's nothing else you can do, but you really want to kick the high G, the third note of the last bar in the line. And even if you want to de-emphasize it, you can't. It's too contrasting. It contrasts too much from the general tenor of the register. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can just help it along by giving it a real kick. I suppose it's one of those places where we're pairing the notes rather than grouping them in 4s. Once more, upbeat to the last bar, first line, last bar with the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now, if we look at the second measure, so this is I wish you would marry me now. Line 2. Nice and steady. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some interesting bowing in this measure, and it tends to be a slur over the middle of the bar, a 3-note slur in the middle of the bar, from the last of the first 4 quavers to the first 2 of the second 4 quavers. And as usual with these slurs, it's to de-emphasize the strong beat and to put it at the start of the slur. So you're going da 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 ba da da dee da 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 ba da. It's not as you'd expect. Well, it probably is as you'd expect by now. We've done this about 100 times already. Let's just try it from I Wish You Would Marry Me Now, line 2, 3, 4. So that's the second line. It's worth just pointing out in the second bar, we've got this awkward little figure. It's the slurred notes in the second bar. You're going over all the top 3 strings of the fiddle. Let's just try that. So we're in I Wish You Would Marry Me Now, line 2, bar 2, and we're looking at the 3 notes that are under the slur, the 3 slurred notes. So we're in after 2. 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. What I find is you just need to be quite deliberate about the change of position of the bow. As long as you get onto the A, it tends to build up enough momentum. But you need that bit more of a push. Let's just try from the start of the line again. Line 2, 3, 4. And then we have line 3 of the reel, I Wish You Would Marry Me Now. It's mostly the same, except we have a different couple of bars to close. So let's just take a quick look at I Wish You Would Marry Me Now. Line 3, bar 3, where you want to pair the quavers. And then we've got the same ending. So it's just really this third bar Let's look at it quickly. Line 3, bar 3, pair the quavers, 3, 4. And it's in the fiddle, down, down, up, down, up. You're really hammering the down and just releasing the up. Once more, that same place, 3, 4. And then the little closing fiddle. Right, that's us about ready to play the set. Let's just briefly look at the transition from strathspey to reel. It's straightforward, but it's the case that there's no upbeat to the reel. So you just need to linger a little bit at the end of the strathspey. And in addition, fiddles, you're ending the strathspey on a down. You're starting the reel on a down bow. So you just have to sort of give it a little extra tug. Let's just try that. Last bar of the strathspey into the reel. 3, 4. Once more. 3, 4. That's the idea. Okay, let's give it a try then. So this is set 33, the strathspey coming through the Broom, my Jo, and the reel, I Wish You Would Marry Me Now. And we'll play it at a steady tempo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Something like that. Anyway, good. Now just a bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? A nice pair of tunes and a good pairing coming through the Broom, my Jo, and I Wish You Would Marry Me Now. There we go. Okay, that's us halfway through. Let's move on to set 38. Before we do, I'm just going to have a quick tune. It's rather warm today here in Aberdeen, and the fiddles just yes, crumbling a little. It's a bit like me. It doesn't like the heat. There we go. That should see us through the second half. Good. I see we're getting some comments. Jane says it's a lovely pair of tunes. Yes, I think so too, Jane. Anne managed half the reel at the fast speed. Hurrah. Oh, well done, Anne. That's great. Really well done. Promised you it comes. And of course, different tunes pose different challenges. So that's really good to hear. Set 30 is a real opulent set. It's decadent. It's from John Bowie's collection. He was a Perth-based musician, and his strathspeys are just sublime. Mr. Charles Graham, the Crieff Gathering, both Bowie tunes, or from Bowie's collection at least. And we're back to tried and tested 3 sharps, A major. Let's not waste any more time and delight in Mr. Charles Graham's strathspey. Here we go. Yada da-dum, ram, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it has what we're becoming used to, really, a mixture of equal quavers, dotted quavers, and snapped quavers in perfect proportion, in ideal measure. Let's just look at it bar at a time. So from the start, and it works nicely as a slow strathspey, which means this tempo isn't a particularly drastic reduction in speed. And if you just add a wee dot to the upbeat, you can do that quite freely. Let's try it with the dotted upbeat. First bar, 1, 2, 3. Again, a bit slower. 2, 3. So we've got these snaps on beats 1 and 2. We're moving quite fast. And the 4th note in the bar is like an upbeat to the 3rd beat. Ta-da-tee, ta-ta-ta-tum. Once more with the upbeat. 2, 3, 4. And on that 3rd note, a little F sharp ornament on the fiddle. It's the 2nd finger. It just adds even more grace to what's an already graceful tune. 3 and 4. That's the idea. Then we have the upbeat to bar 2, 3 and 4. Now, more snaps at the start of bar 2. Another 2nd finger ornament on the fiddle on that dotted quaver B. That's the 3rd note of the 2nd bar. And then on beat 3, equal quavers. And it's significant. Because it just adds that sense of space in the middle of the phrase. And then between the 2 B's, a little turn. Let's just try it slowly. Let's try the bar, and then we'll look at the little turn ornament. So this is the upbeat to bar 2, 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. So we have from the G sharp, so from note 5 of the bar, yum, ba da 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 da, and, 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 gossamer. From the start, from the upbeat to bar 2, 3, 4. And then we get to bar 3 with the upbeat, 3, 4. It's a similar, the notes are the same to the opening bar, but the rhythm's different on the first 2 beats anyway. Upbeat to bar 3, 3 and 4. Apologies, false start on my behalf. 3 and 4. And again, 3, 4. Once more. So we've got the same ornament on the 3rd note of the bar, and that takes care of it really. And then we have the last bar with the upbeat. So Mr. Charles Graham, bar 4 with the upbeat, 3 and 4. And again. One more time. So before we look at the ornaments, just the semiquavers. And the first 2 are slurred, and then the other 2 are separate. Again, you just want the same shape. Let's try the upbeat to bar 4 with some nicely shaped semiquavers. 3 and 4. Good. And then we've got on the fiddle, it's a 3rd finger ornament on the upbeat to the bar, and then a 3rd finger ornament at the end of the bar. That's the upbeat. So here we go, 3 and 4. Once more, 3 and 4. There we go. Let's try the whole of the first line. Mr. Charles Graham Strathspey. 3 and 4. Isn't it? It's not just me, is it? It's a delightful tune, and it works best as a slow tune and not a quicker tune for dancing. Anyway, the other observation that occurs to me is try and feel just how much space there is, just how much time you have in the dotted quavers in the first couple of bars, because it's really an eternity. It's almost like we have this singularity, this thread that is punctuated by the snaps, by the semiquavers. It's lovely. A delightful tune. Now let's have a read of the second measure. So Mr. Charles Graham, line 2, after 4, 3 and 4. there's a lot in this. As usual, just play what you're most comfortable with. You can omit the ornaments with no detriment to the melody. You can still enjoy it. The bowing, to an extent, if it distracts you, do whatever you need to enjoy these splendid tunes. Anyway, we'll hop back a little. So we've got this first bar. Let's just play it without any ornaments. Line 2 with the upbeat, bar 1 of line 2. Really should include bar numbers. 3 and 4. And again, 3 and 4. Once more, 3, 4. Now we've got a couple of ornaments, and they're all just single note ornaments. Just add some shape. That G sharp at the start of the bar. 3, just those first few notes. 3 and 4. And again, 3, 4. Have a listen. Once more, 3, 4. Now the next ornament is really just making this second beat semiquavers. Let's just try it on the F sharp ornament. 3, 1, 4, 1. Once more, 4 and 1, and that's it. And then we've got the D ornament before on the fourth beat. Now you start the third beat on an up bow. And you just play, keep the hold on to the D before you change. And again, that E, the second last note in the bar, is best on a fourth finger. Ready? 1 and 2 and. So this is from the third crotchet in the bar, third crotchet beat. 1 and 2. That's it. Let's put the whole bar together from the start of the line. 3 and 4. Apologies. It's a completely different ornament on the second beat. It's just a sort of ornamented F sharp. Let's just try that. A quick revision. So this is the second crotchet beat. E, F sharp, A, F sharp, and 1, and 1, and 1. And in context, let's take a look at the second bar. Now, if we just look at the ornaments to begin with, we've got the same ornament on the fifth note of the second bar. And then we've got another turn. Let's start on the sixth note, so that's the quaver B. Got a 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then sped up. That sounds like this: 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. That's the idea. Let's put that together. So line 2, bar 2 with the upbeat. 3 and 4. And again, 3 and 4. Good. Now the third bar of the line is identical to the first bar. So let's just skip to the fourth bar of the line. So this is Mr. Charles Graham, line 2, bar 4, with the upbeat. No ornaments just now. 3 and 4. And again, 3, 4. Now it starts with another one of these these Ariam, E, F sharp, A, F sharp ornaments. Let's just try that. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. And then on the third note of the bar, we've got on the fiddle a third finger ornament. The notes B, D, B. Let's try that. 1, 1, 1. That's the idea. If we put that little bit together, let's try that. 3 and 4. Last time, 3, 4. And then the fourth and fifth note upbeat. So this is the upbeat to beat 3 of the bar, the 2 semiquavers. Start on an up bow, and then we have the little ornament on the C sharp. Let's try that. 1 and 2, and 2, and 2. Now, the second half of the third beat is the quaver A, and it's tied to another quaver A. But in the middle, you can play a little G sharp. And it's not just a G sharp, and not just a high third finger on the fiddle, but then also a fourth finger. So you're holding on to the A, and then on the lower string playing 3, 4. Let's just try that from the third crotchet beat of the fourth bar. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. There we go. I see we're quickly running out of time. There's a lot in this stress so we'll maybe just leave it at that. The second line is more or less the same. Just let's quickly look at line 3 of the Strathspey, bar 3. Three, 4. Just remember these 2 snaps to emphasize the short note on the beat note. 3, 4. Apologies, and. There we go. And that takes care of the rest of it, really. It's more of the same. It's very economical in terms of its content. Right, a quick look then at the Crieff gathering. Ready, 2, 3, and 4. things to point out. There's a 3-note slur at the start, and then between bars 2 and 3. These are always on the up bow, and you just want to emphasize the first note of the slur over the others. Then in bar 4, you want to pair the quavers. Let's try bar 4 to begin with. 3, 4. Ta-da, ta-da, 3, 4. Good, that's it. Let's just try the start of the line again. Ti-ya-ba, dee-dee, pra-tum. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, let's read the second half. It's fairly straightforward. To summarize, though, we've got more of these 3-note slurs. And then in line 3, bar 3, we want to pair these quavers. Right, let's give it a try. The second measure, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's a couple other places where you can pair quavers. Line 2, bar 4, yada dee da tum tum tum. It's just like the end of line 1. And then line 3, that place in bar 3, but then also into bar 4. Okay, bit of a cursory glance at this set, especially given how much there is in it. But let's give it a play. And see how we got on. So we'll do a steady version, and then a version that the Strasberry won't be much quicker, but the real one will be just that. Okay, ready, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. That's that. And let's try it just a bit quicker. Here we go. 1, 3, 4. There we go. Great, another smashing set, and we owe all to John Glen for his excellent taste and good choice. That's it for this video. Thanks for taking part, and remember you can rewatch it anytime by using the same link or searching on YouTube. The next live broadcast will be on Monday, when we'll be continuing our exploration of the Glen Collection. In the meantime, take care and keep playing. Bye.